Let me try to get situated. Situated. Situation. It is a special time on the plantation. Let me see if anybody's home today. Looks like a couple people home. Good morning. Well, I can't say good morning. This is evening. I don't think I've gone live in the afternoon in a while. So sometimes you just have to do that in America. Sometimes you just have to. Sometimes you just have to exhale. So much going on, people, my human people, so many things going on. I don't even know where to begin. So hey, good afternoon, Kim. How you doing? So I was going to give my feedback on last night's debate. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, oh, the Democrats and the Republicans were debating last night. Nope. If they were, I wasn't watching, and I'm not going to watch. Man, they can go anyway, so we're not going to go. And I said that wrong, right? There's a difference between Democrats and Republicans. Those are my people. I love them. And DNC and GOP. That's something completely different. So the debate last night. And I was on my best behavior. I will let y'all know I was on my best behavior at the debate. Hey, Janet, how you doing? I watched the debate, but I'm gonna frame this up for you because I want you to know the frame. Hey, Mary. So in this frame, it was a Filipino sister, and in this frame, it was a Japanese brother. And the debate and discussion was about black and white, I say it right, European and African, Pan-African issues and identity politics. And now, mind you, hey, Rebecca, I laugh a little way too much. I sometimes I go into these things and I probably should be a little more serious than I am. But I love this country. Oh man, I love. You just think about that. And I stayed quiet. But what I love about this country at this precise moment is a Japanese brother and a Filipino sister give a damn enough about black and white America to have a debate and talk about what's going on. I'm gonna be honest. I had to make my joke, and then I had to really process the love about that. And man, I don't know if y'all watched it, but they kind of went through the issues. And mind you, I know what's behind all the details that began this debate. And I'm not even going to go through the details. I got into some discussions in the debate, and as y'all know, I really don't agree with anybody. I think we're all wrong. I think we're all crazy. We should just hug ourselves. We just Americans. We the dummies in the world. Good morning, Trent. We lost, but I think iron sharpens iron, right? And if we have these conversations and we have this dialogue, we can get somewhere. So I'm not going to go into the details about the debate. What I'm going to simply say is when these things happen, it's not always about pick a side, right? It's not always about, well, I know this person, so I'm going to group up with this person and I'm going to say some things, I'm supporting that person, or I'm going to group up with the other person. For me, I just have immense love right now for the fact that two of our Asian brothers and sisters actually took the time to sit on a call till 11 o'clock last night and talk about issues that will try to help this country. And so much love to you. Mel and Tatsu, man, I love y'all. Appreciate it. I'm not going to put the details out there because I don't agree with anybody 100% of the time. What I think about, that doesn't matter. I'm just glad that you give a damn enough about us and what's going on in this country to actually talk about it. So much love to y'all. I'm going to leave that there. So today was kind of interesting. I ran into this brother. Somebody posted something about Tim Black, and I don't know who he is. Come to find out, it looks like we grew up in the same area, which kind of makes sense with what he was talking about today. And I don't really know all of his perspectives and his background, but he's someone who's out there putting it out there, right? He's speaking what he sees as the truth, and it's unpopular. And anytime you run across somebody that's speaking the truth that's unpopular, that's someone you can spend a little time with and listen to. That's somebody that's worth your time. People who are saying the same things that's kind of handed down from on high, from the elites, I'm not sure I got a whole lot of time for that. So take a look at Tim Black. I think most of y'all already heard him. I'm the one that lives under the rock. I got the rock on my head, and I don't, So, and the other thing, hey, Diane, sister, how you doing? The other thing I wanted to put out there was, actually, it was on his call, and this is where it kind of walked me down into it. But I guess it sounded like somebody was calling him a sellout. That's a special word. Oh, that's a special word, because that word goes back to the 80s and identifying the sellouts in the 70s. And so it took me a while to calm down. It did, because I think it sounded like the people that were behind calling Tim Black a sellout were the Democrats. Yeah, it took me a little while to calm down. If y'all know, my background, it took me a little while to calm down. I've been dealing with the Democrats and their social engineering and putting kids in prison and child protection and all the drama and craziness that they've been up to, which is why when a Democrat says to me, they start a sentence with, but the Republicans, and it has anything to do with race, I like to walk away, because I don't want to talk about it. I know what Clinton did, and I know what the Black Caucus did, and the Republicans helped, but they didn't do it. They turned slavery on all by themselves. Okay, I'm not going to get upset. I'm not going to get upset. I'm just going to leave it alone. Okay, ain't nobody taking my cornbread. That's right. Sister Jania, you Democrats, you DNC and GOP, y'all ain't touching my cornbread. So, all right, calm down. All right, bring it down. So the thing I'm gonna go through is interracial people. Please breed us out of our misery. Please, Lord have mercy. Y'all get some. Listen, if you got that husband or that wife, and it doesn't matter what race they are, because we need to mix them all up. These people are special. You need to get some Viagra, like make them a Viagra smoothie. And what's good for fertility, I think, is mint and dates and figs. Those are great for fertility. They kind of get the things going. Mix that smoothie up, put a whole bunch of dates and Viagra in there, and go ahead and feed them to your husband or your wife. It might be desperate enough to feed them to your girlfriend or your boyfriend. The Christians gonna get mad at me, man. My Christian brothers and sisters as well. Listen, we gotta save the world, and these people are dumb. These people are dumb as the day is long, talking this white, black race nonsense. Melt the pot, y'all. They don't seem to understand that we're all mixed. Every last daggone one of us are mixed. You think you're black? That doesn't exist, dummy. You think you're white? Dummy, hello. It does not exist. It is a figment of your imagination. You are a mutt. And thank God you're a mutt. Why? Let me tell you about this theory I got. So I was thinking about this. I know it sounds crazy. I know I'm off running my mouth because I got my coffee this afternoon. Sister Joanne, that's right. We are all human. And that's all you are. So get big Fred Sanford, big dummy up in here. You big dummy. So anyway, think about this. All life came from somewhere. I don't care where you want to say it came from. Science tells me that it came from somewhere in the Middle East and Africa. Okay, science, if it tells you it came from Europe, I'm good with that too. All came from somewhere. I'm good with that. And all we did was migrate. And so everywhere we went, we picked up adaptations for that environment, right? We got darker skin, we got thicker hair, we were able to deal with the cold, we were able to deal with the brighter sun, we were able to deal with the hotter heat. Our pores opened up, they let water out, they blocked out the sun. You know, the fat and the Eskimos thickened up and they had space in the gaps, and so they had better insulation so they could tolerate the cold, and they came down to North America and they went out into China. And so all these differences that you idiots are debating about over race are just genetic adaptations to the locations we migrated to. And if you think about all the other species that did that, they basically went around and picked up all this genetic adaptation to meet in the middle and to come back together. Why? Because when you come back together, you make a stronger species. Why? Because if you understand how DNA works, once DNA learns something and it knows how to do that, it never forgets. So this is why the human being has 26,000 genes, which is nothing. A rice plant has over 50,000 genes. What in the hell does a rice plant need with all that genetic information? Because they've been here for a very long time and they know an awful lot, and DNA doesn't forget. So why is that important? It's important from a botanical perspective as well as from a species survival perspective, because after you've touched every environment on this planet and you've developed humans who can survive on all those environments, let's say we have an asteroid that hits, I don't know, 30 years in the future, 100, 300 years in the future, and it blocks out the sun, and the sun falls, the earth falls into a bit of an ice age. Those children will have genetics going back to the Eskimos, and their body will know how to make fat that's higher insulating so that they can survive, right? Suppose that when the sun expands and it becomes too bright on the planet, 1,000, actually not 1,000, like 1,000,000 years down the road, assuming we're still here, those humans will have the genetics to create darker skin, to block out the sun so that they can survive. I hope you're paying attention, idiot. I really hope you're listening. So you people talking about the white this and black that and Asian this, listen, dummy. All we're doing is we're spreading across the planet and we're making superhumans. That's what we're making. This is why I love my interracial brothers and sisters, because they are the next evolution. They are. There's nobody that's purebred, and the harder you try to stay purebred, the sicker your children are going to be. And you spot on, Marsha. Why? Because when you look at the mutts are the healthiest dogs out there. All the purebreds got hip dysplasia and heart problems and liver problems. And, it's not even from an outside perspective, but from the inside perspective. The children in the future will have immune systems that can fight off every single type of bacteria and parasite on this planet. So, and I don't like to use the word dummy. I don't like to talk like that. But you people need to read a book. Or read 2 or 3. Read a couple books. Because you people with your race stuff, man, y'all are killing me. And thank you, Jay. I appreciate you sharing. I try to get the message out there. And don't be stupid. Don't be dumb. I don't want to push that one too far. So I saw somebody post something about, I don't know what these words mean. Y'all keep making up racist words every day. It's hard for me to keep up. I don't know what white fragility is. What? Who the hell? Sometimes I think the elite just sit in rooms and they just make this stuff up, just to try to get people fighting over dumb stuff. And it's, at a certain point in time, you have to look at a word and say, that's racist. I don't, I'm not going to say that because I'm going to sound like an idiot. If you use, and I mean this out of love, I do, I really do. If you say the word, if you start a sentence with black or white, if you start a phrase with the word black or white, if you start a phrase with the word Asian or Hispanic, no matter whatever you say next, doesn't matter. Whatever you say right after that word is racist. You are a racist. Think about that. Think about that. All right, so I got past that. I had to get past that. This is going to be a short one. I just really want you to really process that we don't get anywhere divided up, and too many people are sounding real stupid. So I'm really trying to help you out here. Don't sound racist. Don't sound stupid, because when you're racist talking about other racists, then intelligent people look at you like, eh? I'll tell you a story real quick. So one day I was at my boss's house. Where was I? I think at the time I worked for a little corporate place down in Eastern Shore, Maryland. And we went to my boss's house. And actually it was my boss's house. And so it was like a football game or whatever. And I was a computer operator. I was one of the programmers were there. And he jumped up off, like someone scored a touchdown. No. Somebody was about to score a touchdown and they tackled him. And he jumped up and he said, "That's the way you get that nigger." I'm not sure if I can say that. I didn't say it. I kind of mumbled over. He said, "That's the way you tackle that, get that nigger." You know, the big N word, right? And it was kind of funny because I didn't laugh. I just sat there and I was quiet because growing up, that was just like saying the word "the" or rice. It was used every day. You thought that was your name. You got on the bus. What? So I don't, I just kind of sat there and everyone stopped. And of course I think I was by myself. I don't know, Brother Todd, if you watch. I don't remember if you were there, but for some reason everybody looked at me. And so I got all these beautiful Euro brothers and sisters. After he said the word, they looked at me like, "Oh Lord, it's about to get ugly. He about to, And I didn't respond. I did not respond. And if you out there angry, you like, "Oh, you should have hit him. You should have, whatever." Listen, idiot. That's not me. It's not where I come from. Things can go there, but they're not going to go there over words. They're going to go there if they have to go there. You got to back me in a corner to get that type of behavior out of me. And so the other reason I didn't respond, I posted something earlier today. You want to know who the most racist group of people on this planet is? Black people. Oh my God. They the most racist people on the planet. Oh, y'all should know what they say about you behind your back. And you know why that is? Because I'm black. This thing they call black. And they will say things in front of me they will not say in front of you. And I think if you really thought about it, and I had a Euro brother tell me this a little while back too. He said the most racist people on the planet is white people. Because when you turn your back, they... I suspect, hear me out, I suspect that none of that's racism. Not really. I suspect that when people are comfortable, all types of ignorance can fall out of their mouth. And all races do it. Every last one of them. And I think if you're truly honest with yourself and you're truly honest with what you've seen and your friends and what's come out of their mouth, I think you might agree with me. I think you might agree with that whatever race you are, those are probably the most racist people you've probably seen. Because we're just human, y'all. It's all perception, right? Your brain works that way. It looks at a person and it makes an assessment based on what it sees. It's just data. It sees a person And based on what it's been programmed to do, it's going to say that person is harmful, that person is safe, that person is pretty, that person is ugly, this person I need to run from. And where does that come from? Well, if you grew up on television, it comes from the TV. That's where all your race programming comes from. If you grew up watching shows and all the drug dealers were a certain color, all the dangerous people were a certain color, all the terrorists were a certain color, that is how your mind is going to be programmed. And that's going to be the first response when you see that type of person. And so let it go. Let it go. Try to keep my plantation reports a little short, but we're approaching peak racism. You got peak oil and you got peak racism. We're approaching peak racism because y'all losing your damn minds. I had a great conversation today, and I'll end on this one. It was with a gentleman. He was 95, brother. Man, I forgot his name, but he's gonna come back. We're gonna have some conversations. When you meet old people, sit them down and talk to them. Why? Because it'll make you less stupid. And this brother is a Euro brother. He's 95, on both feet, looking good, strong, healthy. And he has a story. And I'm going to have to promote his story on here. And I asked him to come back so we could sit down when he had a little more time and we could really talk. Because growing up, he's seen the turn of the century, and his father beat his mother and then finally left, and the resulting mental illness caused his mother to kind of turn on him. And he said he grew up spending most of his Euro non-privilege with black people in the black community. I need to know what this man knows. I need to spend some time with him. We need to have some conversations. And so he said he would get dropped off, and he grew up most of his childhood with people who were not his family. And this is why when I say, and he built himself up from nothing. This is why I say, when you start saying these things like white privilege, you sound ignorant. You sound really stupid, because there are a lot of different stories in this country. And this brother built himself up, and he got to a point, where he actually was able to get himself into, I want to say he went to Princeton. I have to clarify down the road once I get his stories. I want to record him. He's a walking library. He's a man of peace, and he became a biologist, and he served in, I think, World War I. He was in the military for a little while. And his perspective was, he said, I'm doing well for myself, but what am I going to do with all this money? He says, I don't really need nothing. I don't need new shirts. I don't need a big house and a mansion. I could have bought all of that, and I didn't do that. He said, the human being needs very few things. And so that's kind of a little bit of what's to come. I'm going to sit him down and talk to him. And I'll leave you on this. When you run into somebody that is almost a century old, talk to them. If you can put a video camera in their face, put a video camera in their face. Because these are our walking libraries. These are the people who used to pass down all that knowledge and wisdom. And we finally got into a place in the human race when we can actually record these people, save that data, save that library, and keep it for future generations. Keep it for future generations. It's so important. And where this came from, my brothers and I, we messed up one day, and we were down in Arkansas, and we were recording my grandfather. My grandfather, he went through World War I, World War II, saw the Great Depression, and he passed away the year after we filmed him. And he just went through, he was talking about all the times and the hard times going through the Depression. He talked about there was a lady down the street who who they couldn't get lard, and so she was cooking with Vaseline. He explained the hard times and why they had a big pantry and why they always had food. There's a lot of wisdom in old folks, y'all, and we can't let that pass away. So I'm done. It was mostly the message of the day. Interracial people, get your nasty on. We got to breed these people out there crazy as all hell. And I really appreciate the debate from last night. It got a brother right there. It really did. Y'all made me feel good to be an American last night, and we got to talking and discussing. I don't always agree with you, but the fact that you could come together and you could talk about black people and white people and help pull this together, that was passion, that was love. I don't have anything against either one of y'all. Love y'all. Have a good day.